I was on a train holding 10 photos my dad gave me, arranged marriage candidates, when the hot girl sitting next to me started publicly dissing me. I told her straight up, train seats are this small. If she didn't like it, she could have flown. That shut her up real quick. She sneaked a peek at the photos in my hand, gorgeous women from every walk of life, even A-list celebrities, and immediately decided I was some kind of creep. She finally couldn't hold it in and demanded to know what the hell I was doing with all those photos. I casually told her they were all my fiancés. I could only marry one, so I was about to turn the rest down. She burst out laughing, said I must be drunk talking nonsense, but her smile vanished in the very next second. Because she spotted her best friend in one of the photos. She snatched the photo out of my hand and snapped at me, demanding to know what my deal was with the woman in it. I shrugged and told her that one had already been cut, said she always walked around looking like someone owed her money. She went off immediately, defending her friend with everything she had, calling me delusional and embarrassing. But my eyes lit up. She actually knew the girl in the photo. I immediately begged her to take me there so I could call off the engagement. She yanked her hand away and called me insane. The train pulled into the station right then, and as she got up to leave, she turned back to make a face at me, told me I was disgusting and needed to get my head checked. I didn't even look up, just calmly dropped the fact that she'd been on medication for a while. Her jaw hit the floor. She froze. But in the end, she figured I was just guessing, muttered something, and disappeared into the crowd. By the time I snapped back to reality, I realized she'd taken the photo of Xu Ruoying with her. I bolted off the train, but she was already gone. I looked up at the station sign. It was Zhang City. That's exactly where Xu Ruoying lived. So I decided right then to head straight to the Xu family and call off the engagement. These engagements were all set up by my dad back in the day. He saved people's lives and casually promised them his son as a package deal. Half a month ago, he faked being sick to lure me back from overseas, just to make me pick a wife. I let out a sigh, pocketed the rest of the photos, and headed toward the Xu family's estate in Zhang City. Meanwhile, Zhou Ziying had already made it back to the Xu estate, sitting at the stone table on the lawn with her bestie Xu Ruoying and Xu Ruoying's mom, Wang Qing, going off about everything I did on that train. Wang Qing scoffed and said I was way out of my league. No way someone like me deserved her daughter. Xu Ruoying didn't really care. She figured I just downloaded those photos off the internet and brushed the whole thing off. While they were still laughing it off, Xu Ruoying's father, Xu Chuan, walked over. After hearing the full story, his expression turned dead serious. He told them straight. Xu Ruoying did have a fiancé arranged back in the day, a guy named Feng Lin. All three of them froze. They looked at each other in disbelief, sure he was joking. But Xu Chuan was dead serious. He turned to go grab an old photo album from his study. Right at that moment, a security guard came jogging over and announced that a man named Feng Lin was at the gate, claiming to be Miss Xu Ruoying's fiancé. The second those words landed, Wang Qing's teacup slipped right out of her hand and shattered on the stone table. I showed up at the Xu estate to call off the childhood engagement, and the moment I walked in, Zhou Ziying, the girl from the train, pointed me right out. Xu Ruoying's mom, Wang Qing, looked stone-faced and immediately started interrogating me about who I was. She kept cutting me off, firing questions about my job and background. The moment she found out I came from nothing, she exploded, screaming at me to get the hell out of her house. Right then, Xu Chuan came rushing in with an old childhood photo, shut Wang Qing down, and told everyone straight. He'd made a vow to his father, and this engagement had to go through. His one condition, I'd move into the Xu household, and the kids would take the Xu name. I stepped forward and made my intention crystal clear. I came here specifically to break off this engagement. The whole room went dead silent. I told him flat out I had zero interest in Xu Ruoying and turned to leave. Xu Chuan rushed over and grabbed my shoulder, trying to force me to agree. While they were scuffling, Xu Ruoying snapped and yelled that her life was her call. I used that moment to shake Xu Chuan off and strolled right out of the Xu estate, humming to myself. I was walking along the street, flipping through the engagement photos, when I sensed someone tailing me. I immediately ducked into a nearby alley. It was Zhou Ziying tailing me, with Xu Ruoying riding along in the car. When I vanished, they gave up and called it off. But they stumbled onto something else. Song Keming walking out of a hotel with his arm around some random woman. Every word out of his mouth carried straight into the car, and Xu Ruoying heard every bit of it. She was absolutely crushed, disgusted that she ever had feelings for a guy like that. Xu Ruoying grabbed Zhou Ziying before she could jump out and confront him, held herself together just enough to ask to be taken home. Back at the Xu estate, with her parents still going at it over the engagement, Xu Ruoying calmly stepped forward and dropped a bombshell. I'm marrying Feng Lin.